AoS in-house replay cast featuring Major G, my co-host, and myself, LT. And we're going to try to do our best to highlight the numerous plays, errors, and other potential intricacies of this game and figure out if we can have good analysis and see if a team could have done something different. So we're going to first start with the draft here. The first bans have been Warfield, Cypress, and Turneth, and we're just going to go on right here. So usually the first bans tend to be Veiler and Vega. They're either picked or banned. So if you see them left up on this draft, they'll most likely be picked, one on each team, since you usually can't slot both of them on the same. And Major G, do you have anything to say about this draft?
No, pretty straightforward. The only thing I say is both sides are going for just a single front line. So like I think the meta's kind of shifted toward less on the tanks and like more on just kind of mobility and your casters kind of holding the fights down and getting the damage in while your supports basically are these expendable. The tank is like an expendable just item just to hold people down.
Yeah, and it
So
does seem like the current meta is one tank, one support, two damage dealers, and a mage. It is flexible here and there, but there really isn't that much room for changing that
you take
base.
take two tanks, your damage is too low. You only take one. One hyper carry can sometimes do it, but it's rare. You really got to have a balanced comp these days.
Right, exactly. That balance kind of is what brings success consistently. So you can see no ban here, and the Star Scream recently buffed, so currently a big threat, and you're going to see most teams either ban it out or try to take it at the first pick.
Finding Starscream to be the new like meta advantage for the chaser hero and the diver hero. There's no hero that really does it better, and he also for like he kind of fits the mage slot, but yet is still a very tough pick.
I'm going to try to speed this up since the drafts are usually pretty quick. And you're usually going to see captains try to take the most time here to maximize their pick, but usually you want to pick it around 40 seconds, the best time, the sweet spot, so that it doesn't feel like you're scrambling to find which hero you're going to pick. Great idea to communicate with your captain to let them know what you can play so that they're better able to make a comp out of it. We're going to see a Curdell ban here. So this is mostly a mage focused ban phase where most of magic damage dealers are removed, and then two specific junglers have also been removed. Phoenix currently pretty iffy pick. I would recommend to ban something with more power in the mid game, like maybe Defiler
I feel like
or Avenger.
Phoenix suffered the most from the current changes to like foe and cauterizer. He was one of the ones that was hit much harder by those items being nerfed than the other picks.
Right, and I'd argue Cauterizer is currently not even viable in Phoenix any longer. The
Yeah,
item doesn't
be
provide
like
any spell
be,
resist.
be like a must buy, and now it's like a very situational item. I got it in one game. I literally all I got was foe and cauterizer because I was against a single DPS Kerrigan on the other team. It won me the game, but like it was very painful. They're very expensive items. They're pretty much the only two items I was able to buy.
All right, so we got the tab here. Let's have a quick look at these teams. So we have Ire on Avenger, Major G on Dakron, Mother on Veiler, Tower of Grey on I'm wrong blanks. What's his name?
Horizon Vulcan.
Vulcan. Hip Hypnos on I'm losing all the names.
Hypno on Vega. We got a hero attack on Brawler here. He's going to probably be the mid. We got Sigs when Pyro tank been very popular lately. Pyro is definitely one of like the best, especially like late game tanks. Vega, one of the top supports is Pure Psycho here. He's a little new on this game on Vega, I think, but he makes a couple plays. I think they overall kind of holds it down, even though he does make a few mistakes because he's new to the hero. Spooky on Nova typically tips, total tips. Fisher with the Kyrak lately. Kyrak's been coming up in popularity in these games. As one of the most paramount brawlers in the game because he can really just take over a lane, can bully it very much like Balrog can, but can dish out a lot more damage in the mid game.
And you can see an early start on this team specifically with defensive and scaling items. So They're warded up. They have their space gems, and they're kind of ready to go for a rather long game here. We're gonna see if we can see the perspective from the other team, if we can maybe catch a tab from any of them.
Not yet.
Nope.
There's a spooky tab there.
Mm.
All right, so so the top team, yeah, just buckling in with the mineral items and wards.
Yeah, and we're gonna look, see if we can check their items. Fisher starting bottom side with a buckler. We have pure with goggles. And it seems like you really want to go for these early minerals.
Pretty much
And
is what the meta is like. Even a lot of your like mids are even getting these items.
yeah, and you're looking to capitalize on the enemy team potentially being weaker early. So it's best to try to force your way into those minerals, but you always want to have the numbers advantage, and you always want your whole team to be there at the right time.
Let's
And
up
I
it up.
think we're going to see a bit of a blunder here from one
Uh,
of the teammates,
let's up
where
it.
you have
Let's up it to
six.
faster here.
Yeah,
Um,
I think you have 6 going in here, and George is just sitting on the mineral. Severe miscommunication, and it seems like he's just gonna get punished for it.
Diggs
And they
looks
lose
like he's
the
gonna get
minerals
picked
too.
off here. Here's first blood right there.
And Dustin should die here too, but
Now Dustin, I think, is okay
he's probably
because
gonna make it out.
he has some damage next to him there.
Yeah, and you can see a really bad start there from 6 going in while Nova's not. Mm,
Real rough. Good for
that's
this.
great issues. So the
Uh,
first kill is on Mother, which is
Bottom lane is looking a little rough too, but they got first blood, so Dacron's still bleeding here. Who's this Major G guy? He's just bleeding
right.
everywhere.
You can see
Bleeding all over
Fisher's
the lane.
getting
Oh,
some
he's
early damage on the tank. And we have a little bit of a scuffle top. So this lane should really play safe. This is a double mana drain lane, which is very difficult to deal with. And you should see both of them around level 3 starting to drain the tank out of his
yeah.
energy completely.
Mid is the typical chicken fight between Vulcan and Brawler, just which one can do the most damage and drive the other one out of lane.
Yeah, and you can see Vulcan has level 2 here, which is going to put him way far ahead. He's going to probably hit 6 first, which is going to give him a
Yeah.
huge advantage.
Brawler's getting the better of this fight at the moment.
Yeah,
We got
but
Ruin. Let's see who gets that.
with space gems, you can basically just go back to base and completely equalize the health. So it's more about a battle of XP. So denying is a huge factor in these lanes. And you can see a little bit of warding going on, but not too much. We're going to look from Tower's perspective, and it does seem like the top side is well warded, but he does not have any vision in mid. He's just pushing. And you can see Siggs is just getting completely drained here, so completely worthless as long as his energy is going to be depleted. And a Vorpal pick might have been a better counter to this specific combo here, since his energy wouldn't be at risk. It seems like he's still going to look for a play here, but this lane is already looking pretty desperate.
Just
They're
hopped over
definitely
by
going to
him
have a hard
without
time.
a hit there. The Protoss team too is warding quite a bit more here. They got their wards up. The Zerg team doesn't really have wards up. They got dewarded already.
Yeah, so the mid vision is relatively covered, but you know the red team has wards here, and they're pretty
Yeah.
much just
So ward.
covering for all faults.
So it's kind of the opposites of wards. The Protoss do not have mid warded. The Zerg do, but they have all the wards up on the
Right?
lanes.
And you can see good vision on both sides, aside from mid. Maybe maybe a place where they would want to invest more wards in the future, but currently not really needing them anyway. And this bot lane is just going to lose here. Vyler and Virgil just have superior laning capabilities, and with
Extremely
Pyro being
extremely powerful, extremely common lane because you just don't have any energy to do anything. You can't make a play because your front man who needs to set up the play just never has energy.
right, and something you can also replicate with Grillis. Very difficult to deal with. So it's common for picks like Vorpal to come in or Axiom in order to deal with the energy sustain that's being
All right,
depleted. And looks like
we got to pick on the Avenger bottom
yeah,
here.
the carrion seems like he was too far forward, maybe looking for a Nova kill. Nova Vega.
This is a very tough lane to push on. Like Vega's tough to. She's fast. She's cloaked. And the Fisher's the big problem too, because he's counter initiate here with Kyrak. Kyrak's very strong even in the early game. Like if you try to go in, he's just gonna take half your health without really trying.
Right, and Kyrak a really strong pick here, a
Yeah,
really strong
strong.
zoner, and his ability to just engage and bleed the target makes it difficult to deal with. You could see Ire already taking half of his health here.
Yeah, his
Just from
ability to be able to just kind of jump on Dakaran at will once he gets his ultimate here, I think is really gonna make a big play like later on.
right, and kind of a lane to respect here. The Kyrak pick's always going to have to be well defended. You usually want to stand in front of your carries when he's out for blood because just one ultimate on them, and they're probably just going to go down. And the Dacker in here, pretty difficult to play, honestly. Maybe go want to go with
There we see
a more mobile
the
character.
Vega effect there could clearly run off, but be like 2 seconds longer in actual functionality.
And it looks like he's trying to pick him off, but he doesn't quite have the damage. Avenger doesn't have,
There might
and
no.
he gets trolled here
Yeah,
with a really good play, and all of the charges have gone. And we see Dustin getting clapped mid.
where you see how
And see
Vega
he's
being such
6,
a popular pick.
and he's probably still level 5. Let's have a look. Oh, he's selected. Okay. Uh, yeah, I believe the Dustin is still 5. So that experience difference making a big impact in the mid lane. You're going to see potential snowball here, and we
Yeah,
need
if
to
that Falcon really gets above you and level in mid, and he can get that ulti off first, it's almost a free kill as long as he just plays his cards right.
right. And so you kind of want to see the green side team, the Zerg, play more defensively in these lanes since they're really going for the later comp. And the Protoss side is much stronger early in the mid game, and you can see they're kind of coming in for a kill here, and he just blasts them both with the ultimate, and they just get completely melted. So it seems like the bottom side is quite strong here, but the top side is complete island here, and you could easily just dive this tower. They might have a go for it, but it seems like only Hypno stayed, so the rest of his teammates have gone. We're gonna see Nova look for a kill here, but it seems like Virgil, high mobility character, just gonna get away easily.
Yeah, it's a tall order for Virgil.
We're gonna have a
So
bit of a scuffle here. It seems like they're looking for Ire, but he dodges that. And
we
Dustin
got
is here,
a ulti from Avenger bottom here, but
looking for a kill
Kyrat
with the bear.
counter initiates with the ultimate. He can't miss Dakaran. Dakaran's too fat. There's no way he's ever gonna miss him.
Major G's too fat, so he just gets picked off there.
It's a
A little bit too slow, a little bit too fat.
great ulti by Avenger. That really should have been a good play, but it's just
Right.
there's just nothing close
You don't
there.
want to be caught this far forward, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem like Tower is warding his mid, which is creating an opportunity for Dustin to just come down and pick up a free kill there. Something that could have been avoided. You really want to be warding on each side of the river, and he does drop the ward at this point. So it seems like he recognized there was an opportunity for a play here, and Hypno's getting really low in the bot lane. Six is looking for the kill here. He should be able to hit in range, but he gets ulted instead. Just complete outplay here. And they're gonna dance around. See, Hypnos could have potentially tried to make a buy,
Yeah, Hypno's running in a crazy direction. I think he might get picked here.
and he
Nah,
no, he's just gonna walk
went the wrong way, but he's gonna
looking
get
for
Viler
Mother
here.
instead. And Viler goes down instead.
He gets Viler as a consolation prize, which was completely not necessary. Like, there's nothing Viler could have done to save the Virgil there. He didn't even need to be there.
Right, Viler kind of looking for help there, but maybe a little too far forward. He could have just walked out a few units away. So
I mean, honestly, it's just suicide to really to go help a Virgil. There's no point. There's nothing you can do for a Virgil that he can't do himself.
right, I think he was looking for a slow there, trying to get the Nova slowed down so he could let the Virgil escape. But he stepped a little too far forward and got punished. And looks like they're gonna scuffle again, but this time Virgil is ready to go. And it seems like Siggs is probably gonna get drained of his mana mother. He's getting focused, and he's gonna go down again. A little bit of an
Pyro's gonna pick up a
overextension
smooth
early
one.
on. You really want to let Hypnos do his damage first, and he's gonna dive in first too. And he goes down. Two free kills like that. Quite a
Yeah,
mistake there.
starting to enter the mid game here, where Spooky is like starting to do a bit of damage here. You don't really want to screw around with him in lane now.
Yeah, you really don't want to all in this lane before their energy has been drained. So you can see Siggs is still just quite healthy on energy, and he's able to just support the Nova, help him get the kill, and we have a little bit of a fight here going on. Pure Psycho probably very overextended on behind the enemy wave with no minions, and just seems like the wrong place to be.
Deckard bleeding all over the place.
Right, and in order to stop the bleed, you just wanna stand still, but that's
Just
not
stand
always
still.
something you can do in front of enemy characters, so you have to make sure that to get to a safe distance.
So I stop the bleed there. Pick up the sanctum. Pick up
You
the
can see
shroud.
mid is currently suffering against this Vulcan lane. The XP advantage is just kind of driving the screw in here,
We're gonna see a
and
trade here soon, and I think it really disrupts up the lanes here. Like I really think it's gonna hurt the
right,
Morgoth side when they do this lane
you
swap
can
here.
see Sig's doing it right here, just completely draining Sig's Hypnos is doing it right, completely draining Sig's of his energy, and there's nothing he can do, he just has to go back. This is
Becomes a big meat
really
shield at that point.
yeah, the way you wanna play that lane, and we have a little bit of a comeback here. He's gonna try to run them down, but
A little bit
he's
of a
warded.
fight. And I've got some fight at the shrine here. The sanctum currently in the Protos's control.
Let's have a look at the words here. It seems like pretty good words on this side, kind of covering both fronts, and we have Scuffle top again. He's gonna get away. And you can see the mid lane really is very advantage for the Protoss side. And the bot lane kind of even currently. With Psycho giving the kill back, it seems like he's putting himself in detriment and he's just gonna be
There's another one
overextended
there.
again.
Yeah,
Killed under the Sanctum
this
there.
is the big mistake for Vega. Whenever you are facing a sanctum that is controlled by the enemy team, you don't want to go anywhere near it.
Oh, this is controlled by their team. It's yellow. The Sanctum's under the Zerg, but he's just getting overconfident, just standing behind the wave there, which is should never be a thing for a character like Vega, unless you're going in with more than, you know,
Yeah, unless
the amount of players they have.
behind for the Q setup, and then just get
So,
out once you land the Q.
the bottom lane kind of making comeback. Top lane is still quite strong here, but Spooky already has 4 kills, so he is kind of getting ahead, and this is not something you want to happen. You want to see the Vulcan really take advantage of his lead here and kind of just shove in the lanes and try to push for these towers, which are have not been damaged so far. Meanwhile, if you look at the other side, you can see these towers are taking some damage, which should not really happen. This one's quite healthy, but you
See the
really
ulti for Dacron here. He's going to try to go for this Vega. We got Brawler coming in. This looks like it's going to be a kill here. We got a good fight swimming here. So yeah, Dacron's kind of baiting him over with the Sanctum.
it looks like he's
Should
gonna make it out,
have
but
been an engagement here. Like
he could still get popped, and it seems like he's gonna get stunned down here. His health bar is quite healthy, but there's a lot of damage on the other side, and he's just gonna go down. Fisher barely runs out of energy, but he's already got all his damage off. And Vulcan's going for a counter engage here. He gets ulted. He has the damage, and it seems like the Violet ult is
six.
just gonna secure the kill there. Yeah, 3-on-1. Probably shouldn't be there.
Yeah, so just trading tanks there. Nothing really happening.
Right, and now Nova is under threat, and Vulcan is still lurking. And it
Yep.
really does seem like you don't want to be that far forward, no matter if you're playing Vega, Pyro, or any other character. And they're gonna look to try to punish the solo Nova under tower here. Good ult, and they're looking for her,
Great.
but she's right here, and she runs back into range. Unfortunately, maybe should have tried to make it out with the cloak.
Yeah, probably would have ducked into the jungle right there and tried to live. Did a
Right,
very
and
good job dodging the Virgil ult. Like Nova was still breathing, so yeah. At that point, I think she just wanted to try to run as fast as she could. Kind of
right,
wanted
and
to.
you really don't want to allow the Nova to farm as much as possible. So stepping forward and dying is going to put her at risk of just dying under tower.
Aeon is a unique
Facilitates
MOBA right now too, where it has extremely weak towers. They don't do a lot of damage. They don't take a lot of hits, so you can't really depend them, especially when you're alone, to protect you.
right, and the damage is spell damage, also based on a small portion of your maximum health. So usually tanks have no problem getting under there, and most characters can also take 4 to 5 shots without much damage coming in. Seems like the bottom lane is starting to push back here. Are kind of getting strong on the Mutalisk, and he might be ready to carry his team here. His character with very strong range and very strong mid game fight capabilities, and you could see him getting several kills in these fights, which seems to be pretty chaotic so far. We have Dustin currently farming bottom lane. It
We
seems
might
like
get a
he
pick
doesn't
on
want to be mid.
the Vega here on the bottom.
Yeah, and they're looking for Vega here, but
Oh, but
not
no,
the best
good
positioning.
Karak ulti right there, but
I pretty much damage.
still
He's just
okay.
you know,
It's picked off by the Vega.
they
So
do to get the Vega.
That
Is
was
MajorGee gonna walk out? They let him go.
that was a poor trade though for the Protoss. They definitely had the less minerals out of that
Right,
engage.
you definitely don't want Dustin getting any free kills if possible.
You don't
You
want to
really
trade your carry for a support kill for sure.
and with this much wording on the Zerg side, you probably want to be taking care of these before going for any sort of plays, since this is really going to hinder you from seeing characters potentially swoop in and try to look for some kills when you're going for fights. And Vulcan's probably gonna, yep, Vulcan looking for some kills here. He probably already has his nitrogen. Nope, he's finishing it. And as soon as he finishes it, gonna be a huge kill pressure on both the Dustin and anyone else he crosses. You can see Dustin does not want to fight that. 2 levels down, most likely due to runes in that early lead. And just one early kill can make the mid lane very difficult. So you want to avoid dying early on. It looks like we have another
This
fight
point in
here.
the game, Vulcan really has the control because you can't get near him because he now has nitro. So you're risking at any point just an instant kill if you just get too close to him.
And George just face tanks the Virgil and Veiler ult and just completely dies here. I mean,
Great play with
Dustin trying to
Pyro
patch
by Figs by living here.
the situation, but he's just going to wave clear here. There's nothing else to do. The Nova's already dead. And it does seem like top lane is not playing to their utmost capabilities here. Really want to be playing way safer. And we have Fisher looking for a kill, but that ultimate does not work on that transport. And he's just going to get out of there.
It's not
Not a
an actual
stun.
any kind of stun or anything. It literally just roots you.
It's more of a disable, which does not affect your teleporting abilities.
All right, so we got going in on Vega here. This looks like a kill, but no, the W is going to come in.
Yep,
Maybe Vega goes down. Vega goes down.
big bait. He's going to look for Ire. It looks like he's going to be able to finish him, but he misses. And
Vega
he
with the
pops the
haste.
haste,
Oh,
and
but
he
backs
decides to
off.
run away. It seems like a really poor play there.
He
Could
gets
have definitely
punished
gotten that,
too.
and he gets
I don't think
punished hard.
I don't think the
Should have
ulti
popped
was
the
even necessary there.
should have popped the haste way earlier to finish that target, which was free. And it just does seem like he might be getting under the pressure.
I feel like he probably shouldn't have popped the haste and tried to go in with the
He
face of
should
the
have
Vulcan
popped
there.
the haste right under the tower where he could have easily killed the Avenger and stayed
Yeah, just
safety.
used it for extra DPS instead of.
Right, popping the haste early is much better for securing kills than popping it late, since you give your opponents more opportunities to escape, get ally help, or even just have their cooldowns come up to dash away. And kind of a back to a slow pace here. You can see quite a bit of warding going on for this team, where they have a lot of vision over the map. They're clearly aware that this Dustin is here, and
All
looks
right, we're
like they're
about to
going
see a
for
big play
counterplay.
right now. So this is a great engage on the Dustin.
They drop
Filer
the
ult
TS
real
to
quick.
CM, a lot of
Yep,
damage coming through, and the construct just doing a huge amount of work here,
yep.
just completely clapping the team, and they just capitalize on that.
He
Ira
trooped
picks
up
up
big
3 kills,
time. Vulcan was able to hit everybody with his spells too. He's got some big AOE's on those
and
on the E.
you can see the power of those mid game wards here. Just whichever team holds these kind of has the ability to counter engage, and Mother really taking advantage of the vision, coming down with the construct, and it does not get focused, just obliterates the team. Ira just picks up those 3 kills.
Protoss need to pick up
They're
this
gonna look for a
here to
tower.
make that fight actually worth it. So let's like, get this tower here. Looks like they're gonna stay and just tank it. So that's a good pickup right there.
They get
Uh,
the tower, and we'll see if they go for the Aeon here. Could be a good play due to their good vision, but they have to have the confidence to take it. It seems like they're just gonna run back to mid.
have a dive here from the Virgil. I think he really wants this Vega.
You
Vega,
really don't want to go for this. This is just a terrible idea. She potentially can W herself and just shut down any kind of killing potential.
yeah, not a good
And
character to dive.
it looks like they were looking for the Dustin here, and he poured it out using the transport to just get that quick outing before
Should
the
be
team
more
comes down on him.
aggressive.
They're going for the tower.
Let's see if we get the Virgil kill here.
It looks like Virgil is just gonna ult out,
He's gonna
as
pop
he's
the
relatively
ulti.
safe there. Vulcan's coming down to punish. He's just gonna escort him back to the mid tower.
Vega runs the wrong way. Looks like Vulcan will get him though. Vulcan comes in to get the pyro. Yeah, using the
And it
Virgil.
seems like the pyro was just in the middle of nowhere here. Not really sure why he wasn't just defending the tower, but you could have seen an easy take of this tower from this team right here, since the Dustin's not enough to really deter them from taking it. Would have liked to see just Ire keep hitting this tower until it goes down. It would have been a huge advantage. You can see Nova's kind of farming solo right now, which is, good opportunity for them to potentially either dive this dust in, take Fisher out of the bot lane, or, you know, look for this top lane turret even. You really want to be pushing here since the score line kind of shows the huge lead that the Protoss team has, and they want to capitalize on all the items they've bought. Fisher knows that, and he just gets out of there with no tower. He's not safe, and so he leaves. You can kind of see from the other team's perspective, they only have vision on their side, and it's very limited. Dustin gets popped again. I think that one. Yep, he doesn't not quite have his Gallus relic yet, so he's not ready to take that much burst damage. And the nitrogen just is going to kill him. The best strategy there is just running away, staying out of range. And Hypnos is looking for Six. Not really much Six can do here. He's just too far behind, and he's just gonna get punished again. He goes down. Seems like Nova has died as well, probably from the Virgil. And looks like they're having a hard time just staying in the right place and just getting those creeps. And Hypnos is gonna take full advantage of that. Just farm go lower here, maybe try to take this tower, and we'll see if anyone's able to defend it. And he's just gonna get interrupted by Dustin here. Maybe could have gone that tower if he wasn't there. And the team's gonna
Yep,
go
an
look for
Aeon
Aeon.
here. It looks like
We
Dagger's
have
gonna jump here. Yeah,
pure face tanking, and he's just gonna get clapped here. Maybe not expecting the vision on the high ground, but he gets punished nonetheless.
yeah, and picks up a free kill there while the Aeon's getting killed. Really good play there.
Right, and you can see Fisher really staying safe. Despite having a lead, he's clearly aware of the fact that this enemy team is strong, and he's trying to give them the least possible money.
Might see an engagement here. We got Dagger coming in. I'm not sure who he's targeted.
He's looking for Six, and he's just gonna get it. It's an easy kill.
We got to
Six
pick
does
up the
not have
tower.
the items to combat that, and Spooky's looking for the trade back, and another good pickup by Spooky there. Fisher misses ult here. We're looking for Mother, but get this tab out of here. It looks like Fisher is just gonna have to try to walk out here. Maybe can get a Q away, and yeah, it looks like he's just gonna walk out and looking for a nitrogen on Tower of Grey. And he should be in range here. He's not even gonna use it. Spooky Fisher goes down there. You really good discipline by him to avoid
Vulcan got his
getting
ulti
deaths
there.
early, but
Even the
it seemed
Vulcan
like
tried to engage with his ulti, but I'm
right.
sorry.
And Vulcan still has nitrogen here. Dustin's just gonna get clapped,
There
and
you
he
go.
goes down. It's free turret, and you
They
can see
caught.
the team is
Uh,
not there.
the cooldown is very short on
Pure Cycle
Dagger's ulti.
picking
You
up
gotta watch out for that.
Pure Cycle is picking up critters in the
That's
wave while the
Pyro.
tower is getting dived here, and he needs W6. He does not get it. And it looks like he's getting dived. Ire going under tower, just ignoring Spooky George, and he's just gonna pick up a free kill there. Seems like a really poor player should have focused that tower. And you can see that the Zerg team is just completely trolling here at this point. They're not
Yeah,
even defending their tower, and Spooky's just
took
gonna
a point of
punish
advantage there. Didn't really have to leave.
the
They could
Protoss
have made it
overdive. It seemed like several mistakes were made here from both teams, but Spooky comes out with the real gain there, getting a huge shutdown. It does seem like you really want to go for the boss play here instead of overdiving those towers. It seems like the Protoss team was too disorganized, and they kind of get back some of that huge lead that they had. We have Dustin in the mid lane again getting clapped. He should really be sitting over here waiting for the wave to come up, and he gets destroyed. You want to make sure you're positioning behind those turrets, defending them. Since there's no turret to defend here anymore, this Dustin should be somewhere way back for. Um, got Fisher and Psycho going in the river again, and this does not seem safe. He's warding in front of him. This cannot be recommended. Don't do this at home. And he should get punished here and just go down. This is not right. He W's himself, but he's still gonna go down. You want to make sure to ward when the enemy team is either not there or your team is also there to protect you. It does seem like this ward did not really have the cost effectiveness of a death there. So this team only 3 alive here. You can see George still looking for this creeps. He's still level 11, and he really wants to hit level 16 soon so that he can start ranging the enemy team.
Fish ate a nitro there, but he was able to use his ulti to get out of there.
We have the Protoss team looking for this boss. This is a small boss, which should be easy to take, but they might be walking under vision, and it seems like
They
they are
definitely
warded. You're gonna have Six kind of pro, but he is 5 levels down here, and he really can't do that much on his own. We have
We got
Hypnos
Cade.
going in here, maybe a little too early, and it seems like he's over chasing, looking for that free Dustin. Is he gonna get it? And it seems like Dustin's alone. His team is not there, and he's just gonna get clapped again. Got Major G coming down fast. Fisher looking for the ultimate. Sigs goes down. Seems like another disaster going in here, and
They can just dive
Zerg
right in
team is
here.
not organized, but George on the flank here.
Oh,
He's
look, Fish is
looking
gonna
for Hypnos.
pull
He
through
hits
though.
Ire.
Wow,
Ire
they
goes down. Looks for Mother. Mother goes down here.
yeah, Fish
And
kill.
George is still alive. He's looking for Hypnos. Seems like Hypnos is gonna make it up, but another 2 kills for George, and he gets 600 out of that.
Yeah, the big protest
Complete
problem right
overdive.
there, they thought, Fisher was dead already, and they all stopped attacking him, so he
And
just able to shield and just live.
they should have really just picked up the Dustin kill and then either grabbed this boss or this mid tower. Seems like the overdives top have been the second mistake on this game, and this might potentially give the Zerg team, which is absurdly behind, a chance to get back into this game with their late scalers. And it seems like there's not really much going on here, even though the
Looks like Dakron's coming
Protoss team has
trying
a
to get
lead.
this kill, but
Yep,
nope, we
and
got a W, so and
looks like he's gonna get punished by
yep,
Fisher here, really
yep.
stunning him. He could have walked out if he was not disabled. And a few units away, and he would have been safe.
Yeah,
An
just really showing
unfortunate
you the
engage there.
yeah, really showing you the power of the Vega, an ability that just makes it so you can't die has so much weight.
And we have 6 face tanking again. He's just looking for damage here, and he's gonna tank the combo, and he barely makes it out. The parallax really saving him, but Hypnos comes in for the cleanup. But he gets killed as well. Tower looking for a pushback. It looks like Hero should go down here. Avenger has enough move speed. He should get the last auto, and he goes down. He also had ult.
Was out
We have
there, but
Pure coming back from base a little bit too late. Could have been there for the W. And it looks like this game is swinging back in the Protoss favor. They've recollected and they're looking for a mid push. Not really enough members here, so they're
yeah,
kind of just waiting here. And you really want to see kind of a push on this lane. Since mid is so difficult to push in, you want to have these lanes pushing into the towers so that the enemy team has to address them. Seems like they're just kind of hovering the boss here, but not really farming anything, just kind of keeping the game status quo. And Pure Psycho just walks in again. It seems like he really wants to ward this area, but it doesn't seem like it's quite worth it,
you gotta watch out when the game transitions to the long.
right?
You can't
And
sacrifice
Vulcan
yourself
equipped
for
to
a
kill
ward.
tanks, right? So he's looking for any kill he can get. Anybody who walks into him is going to get that ultimate. And it seems like only Pyro would really be able to survive. So you really want to be looking for either flaring this area first or going with a buddy to make sure that your wards are safe. And it seems like the Protoss team has been hovering around this boss for a while now, but
They really
really
should
not
have.
making any moves.
They should at least force the fight here at this point.
Right, and with a player down, without the Vega,
Gotta
the Zerg
engage
team is
on
not as strong,
Pyrak
but they're
here.
looking for Fisher.
Pyrak goes down. He's got a Violet ult
Fisher
on him.
ults,
They should be able to finish him here, but no,
and
I think
Fisher is
he's
gonna
going
walk
down.
out. Really
Wow.
good play by him, just baiting all the cooldowns from this team, and they get nothing out of it. And it would really be a good time to go for this boss here, which as well as just evolved, but at the same time, it's now much tankier and gives the Zerg team more time to also contest. And it seems like they're not happy about it. And they're not even gonna go for it. They keep hovering around this area, and it seems like they're just wasting time.
Definitely some farming should have went on here. All their jungles alive. There's nobody is getting minerals right now.
Yeah, we're gonna have a look at Fisher. He knows the enemy team is not
We
doing
got
anything. He has the
Virgil
words,
Virgil
and
up
he goes for the
here
bottom
at
turret.
top. Now this they are literally like around him. Like if he reveals his position at all, I expect him to just die.
Yeah, and you can see Fisher with really good discipline again, knowing where to
They
be
found him.
and taking advantage of the enemy team's positioning. We have a little bit of a fight here. Hypnos just completely in the middle of nowhere
Yeah,
gets clapped by Nova. She has her items, so she's ready to clap.
really no reason for him to be there. They're just sitting in their jungle.
Right, and he's not even warding. It doesn't seem like he has any specific deal here. Major G and Ire get Fisher, and it
Fish in
seems
the
like
bottom.
the Zerg team wants to push mid here. Only the Viler, you can really just ignore him here and just take this tower, but it seems like they're reluctant, not knowing where the other team members are, and good reason as well, since
Yeah,
Vulcan is covering the left side.
the bottom's gonna swing around here for a mid, but I don't know. I don't really agree with that. I think they probably should have
Right,
just
and
broke down
you're
the
not
fence.
respecting the Vulcan. It just gets clapped again, and he really should know that this Warp Shard Nitro Vulcan is not gonna let him get away with just dewarding this area on his own.
Protoss getting the bulk of the picks here, but they're just not capitalizing on them.
Right, it does seem like this boss should be taken here, but they're just hovering again, and it does seem like the area is quite well warded, so there's no reason for them to wait.
They
Really
need to
need
be
to just
engaging on the boss here. They have 5v3 right now,
right,
or
and,
four
Dacron
now.
does good damage as well, so you can really just try to take this down while the enemy team is distracted, but
The
you
Decker
can
in
see
this
they
game,
did the end.
remember, was given position 5 as the frontline tank. He's getting no minerals, so like he's not killing wards.
Really,
He's not.
15 minerals, no money items, he's broke. He is
Yeah,
flat broke.
yeah. That's I think that's the big problem of this game because later
And
on,
you can see
you're
he's
gonna see the
hovering his
Nova.
team as well. He's not getting any CS, he's not farming mid, he's not farming jungle.
Nope.
And it's not only Dacron's problem here, it's the whole team that's waiting.
The whole team is just kind of hesitating. You can't really figure out what to do.
Right, and we've spent about 30 minutes just hovering this boss here, but we have not touched it. We're gonna look back at the other team, who's got very limited vision here. They barely have vision on this boss, and it
So
seems like they're starting to buy flares to get some vision.
let's see if they can pick up this Aeon because everyone's concentrating on Levy. So I don't think anyone's really asked. Let me see if their team has.
Right,
They have
the
no
Aeon is right here. You can see it's
Aeon.
being taken by the other team, and the Zerg team aware of this, but there's just not much they want to fight here, so
Yeah,
they're
they don't
not
have it
going.
worded at all. The only way they could see that is if they see the effects, like in the fog of war.
Right, and
It's too late because Aeon just dies too fast.
Aeon really not a big factor here. The boss being kind of the main stage, and it seems like Hypnos is looking for another play here, and he's gonna walk into Fisher.
I feel like this could have been a good engage right there.
Right, and it's very Fisher with the bear kind of just
The Zerg team's kind of split up. They're kind of drawing
gets
themselves
him out.
in the middle here.
Right, and you're leaving the Dustin and Nova to just farm for those items. It's gonna put you on a clock here, and an hour into the game, you really want to start making something happen. Yeah. Both of these lanes are not pushed, and there's really nothing happening. This team has been starving themselves of CS for the rest, for the last 30 minutes, just kind of trying to control this boss area, but they're really just not getting much done. And after each pick, they just reset and just wait again. And it seems like they should maybe either look for flares and ward this side of the map, or push the enemy team so far up their base that they can just tempo the boss down. But
And the longer they
we're
let
back
the
again,
down, the more they're giving the advantage to Nova. Nova being the only hyper carry in the game.
right? And Virgil, the only one really farming actively on this team. You can see they're picking up a wave or two here, but the enemy team is just farming anything they can, and they're looking for a play here, maybe going for some wards. This is the right way to ward with your team. Maybe you want to have the tank even in front, just in case there is something that happens. But they're going for the wards. But will they go for a play? And Hypnos is completely in the wrong spot again. And his team tries to get back to the mid side, but they're just wasting time again. Fisher taking advantage of this, just splitting. And
Pick,
they
yeah, we
catch
got a
Pure
pick.
Psycho again, just completely out of position. He really should know this Warp Shard is not going to let him get away. And maybe you should be going for a Parallax here to just kind of walk out of it, which would allow him to step this far forward, even if it's ill-advised. And it looks like we're gonna hover over this bus again, and we're gonna start it here.
Necron's
An
trying to.
hour and 8 minutes into the game, we're going for this boss, and you can see they burned it pretty fast.
Yeah, they're ported
The
in there
enemy team's
already.
ready. They've been waiting for this. Six is down. Nova comes up, kills the construct. Really well played here. And this team is once again just waiting. Hypno's getting that bot side carry, and it seems like he's even leaving the sanctum up. Not quite sure why, but he's going back straight into farming, but you really don't want to be farming against Nova. You want to be pushing towers, and these side towers have stood for a long time, and they've been ignored.
Really seeing the protest team really just kind of zoning when they should be farming, and now they're farming when they should be zoning.
Right, and as the Protoss team, you want to push into the enemy base, make sure that these towers fall, the side ones, maybe if mid is too hard, but the issue is every time they go to that top tower, they dive the tower poorly and lose two and give the other team some way back into the game. And here you really just don't want to be walking into this. This is just death.
This is
And
really
this team has been farming for 40 minutes, ready to
it's
take the Dakaron on, just
yeah,
gonna
it's
burn him down.
right. It's a real shame the Dakron can't really engage here because both Pyro and Kyrak can really just stop him in his
Right,
tracks.
and you really want to see Tower make the play here. Look for a pick on one of these players, but it might already be too late. You can see Dustin is stepping really far forward. The
Good pick
construct's
on the
still up
Tyler
here.
here.
Six gets Mother a little bit too far forward. A huge Virgil gets most of the team members. Six is almost going down, and Fisher is trying to get a turn kill here, but it's 4 for 1. And it does seem like a really good time to take this tower and maybe go for a boss here. really good fight by them. The Virgil doing most of the damage there, but Nova is still alive, and Vega right behind him. It was a 3-for-1, wasn't it? No,
At
actually, I
top,
didn't
right?
count. I don't have the tab. I suck. Let's keep going. I'm gonna look at this team. It was really a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
Uh,
This is where they need
the
to take the boss, but
yeah,
the threat is here now. Nova is very farmed and has that ult, so can get a
right.
steal if she gets in a good position.
And this ward is still up here, so they still know that the boss is not being taken. And they did get this tower, but they need to go, and they're going for it right now. And the enemy team has vision of it, and we're gonna see if Nova immediately on the transport. He's ready to go, and he gets in there, and they're
Flare,
not able to take this boss fast enough.
they're scared off with a flare. Now they're coming up and they're trying to get some picks here. And
Right, and Nova kind of a big danger at this point, doing
yeah,
a lot of damage.
Nova
And
can pretty much
Virtual
three
looking for a kill.
everyone.
He cannot hit stealth units. He should really have a
Uh,
radar on him. Pure
great
Psycho gets
jump,
caught. He goes down. Dustin on the flank. We
great
have
jump,
Nova on the right side. Nova's
great
staying alive.
yeah,
Looking
great
for
jump by
Ire here in the
Pyro.
middle. Ire's gonna go down. Tower's gonna go down. Major G is gonna go down, and Hypnos is on his own here, just walking into 4. What is he doing? He's looking for good damage, but George does not quite die.
He
He's looking for
needs
the
to
finish, but he
sacrifice.
misses.
Yeah, to right here, he probably needed to sacrifice himself to get
Right. Hypnos without the radar, really a big mistake here, since he cannot hit a stealth unit. Nova just taking full advantage of it. It seems like he's trying to make a play here, but his death is close, and
there.
he's just gonna go down here. A big blunder by him to try to re-engage into that, and he really should have been the first one to start the fight.
Yeah, now we're gonna see the Zerg probably take the first an easy boss here.
Yeah, and the Protoss team just going for it.
This
I
is the
mean,
big
they've been
drama right
waiting. It's an hour and 13 minutes, and the first boss is gonna start getting taken. Only Mother up here, not really able to do much. His character has been outscaled, and he's able to drop the construct, but it gets taken down, and they're going for that boss. Nobody's gonna stop them. The wave's not pushing enough. All the towers have already been taken, so there's no threat, and they just take the boss down here. The heart saved for Nova. Make sure to leave the heart for your best carry, and she's really gonna be the star of the show here.
This is where Nova's really going to take over the game. Like she's going to be scaled up above everyone else in the game now, and can really just kind of sit back with that ridiculous range too, and
Right,
doesn't
and
even have to go
you
in.
see Nova's almost fully itemized here, only missing a Tetra in that last slot, and she doesn't need anything else. She already has the ult, and she has the Rathion. She's ready to go, and you're gonna start to see
You want to
maybe
see an earlier Tetra too, because you're up against a Vulcan here. It's your weapon you need.
right. You can see Nova is really staying out of range of the of the Vulcans. Respecting the damage and the range, and so she doesn't really need that Tetra until she's going back really late into the game, and maybe dealing with those Aegis. And you want a Tetra to deal damage to the Aegis to get that pick. So maybe deal with the Virgil as well. But he's been positioning really well after laning phase, and seems like it's been paying off. And they're looking for a siege mid. We're now going to look at the Protoss team, who's been winning so far, but they're now completely on the back foot. And it does seem like the Zerg team is pushing really far forward. They're not really able to punish that here. And Vulcan, kind of a mid-range uh, damage dealer, not able to compete with the Dustin on this tower, and they just pop the gem here. It doesn't seem to be really a problem. You can see Major G's not really able to engage onto this team, which is really strong, with the Nova waiting for him. And he does not have Aegis yet, which means if he goes in here, he dies. Tower looking for a pick here, but he's out of range. The tank is not a good target. He has Parallax, and he just walks straight out of it.
The
And
Dacron
it
for
seems
this
like
setup, I really want to see that earlier Aegis. I would want to see Blue Gene on the sort of the main tank too. Get really a lot of damage reduction and actually get some extra damage in there while Dacron's taking all that damage. It really just probably wasn't correctly geared for this.
right, and you really just wanted that Aegis there, but Dacron maybe not the best tank to carry it.
Dacron was picked kind of in the mid, and like the Kyrak, I think was specifically picked to counter him.
Right, and you can see Nova right here on the high ground, completely safe with the Dustin safeguarding her, and you can
This
see
is
all units coming in here. They have the TS, they see it coming. Pure
this
is ready to
could be a little
W,
exploitive. Nova being able to hit the tower from this position is like a little ridiculous.
and they're covering both flanks here, completely shutting out the Protoss team counterplay, and they're just gonna range them from the back here. You can see Dustin and Nova hitting all the way from here, and just kind of utilizing their comp now that they've been allowed to play, and Nova's hitting the tower. There's not much they can do here.
I feel like Nova's a very powerful carry, especially for teams that have something like a brawler or a rainer that can help them do the damage from a distance. And then you really just get to this in this situation where you just don't ever have to go in on the team. You
Right, and you can kind of see the beauty of the comp here with Fisher being a strong zoner. and then Pyro disengage and a really strong support. The comp is coming together, but their earlier plays have made it much harder to play. But the Protoss team really throwing in that last fight, and we have Virgil going in doing a ton of damage. Everyone's half health, but there's no follow up here. Dacron's not really able to walk into this. He'll just get shredded. And Avenger is actually too short range for Nova. He's not able to push in. And it just seems like they're gonna have to wait in base and try to look for a good engage here. Filer has mostly been outscaled as well. He has a very difficult time getting value out of these fights, with most teams, most team members being 17, level 17 or 20. And it just seems like really the only star of the show right now is between Ire and Virgil to make a play and deal enough damage to kill one or two members of the Zerg team, which is playing extremely safe and with the Vega and with two strong tanks in the front line. Seems like a very uphill battle at this point, and they don't really have many options.
It's even
You
against Free Farm. You got the Decker in here is trying to tank this Brax for one of his carries, and they're just ignoring it. They don't want the minerals.
Right, and it does seem like the Dacron is pretty starved here. He's really needing an Aegis and maybe some Dark Steel Titan, strong items here that would really fulfill his build. But he hasn't been farming. He's been hovering the river with his team, and it does seem like that's really a problem now. You can see that the
The
Zerg team's
Spectacle and the
quite
Coral are good
strong,
in the Decker. I think instead of the contamination chart, I would like to see the Aegis and the Blue Gene here.
right? And the Blue Gene probably not even something he can afford,
Right, yeah, it definitely would be a luxury item, like, but the Aegis here instead of the contamination shard probably would have been the right. Then at least would have been able to get in and at least maybe sacrifice himself for a
right?
double kill.
And you can see a shrink ray for tower here. He's looking to disable someone, but with this strong tank line and the parallax on the tank, it's going to be very difficult. Sig's really good at using those items, and seems like a difficult process here to get through. And we have a push on the top tower. Everyone's grouped. It's four members here, one coming up, and then same for the other team. And it looks like they're trying to operate a Gal Gambit, but I think Fisher does not know where it is.
I feel like
It seems like we're
Pyro's
gonna
a
have Dustin grab it instead, and they're going for it.
Pyro's a great pick here, and he really scales, I think, with the game better than a
And they're
lot of the
coming in
other
with the Gilly, and they're looking for a Hypnos, but no kills here. Mother's out of position, and he might go down here. He does get CC. George out in the front, but he has Tetra, and he's running. George looking for Ire here. Ire's in position, and Hypnos, Major G get clapped in the backside, but the whole team goes down here. They just got gillied. And it seems like this is just a prime opportunity to push down all these turrets with both the carries dead. And you really want Hypnos looking for that Nova there. She was 10%. Before she popped the Tetra, she was potentially a good target, but he was in the backline looking for Fisher, and it does seem like this disorganized fight are highly favoring the ranged Zerg team with their composition able to kind of counter everything that the Protoss team throws at them, despite their items. We have 20 to 30 seconds on most members here, and they're really not looking to fight this. They really want to defend under a tower, their whole team. Six still with a quite a low amount of HP here. You can see he has mostly defensive items, and so he's not quite able to tank for very long, but with a Nova and a Dustin, he has plenty of time to tank. And it seems like there are some words on this high ground, and the Zerg team is just completely disrespecting here. Just both their carries forward, not really caring about what the Protoss team does. It does seem like it's kind of difficult here to really get some counterplay going. The waves kind of shoved out here, not really able to push this, and you can see the Zerg team is just running it down, getting the towers, and then backing out. They're looking for this boss right here.
yeah, they're waiting to pick up
Flare
the
pops,
30 here too. This is a really good setup for the
and
Zerg.
they're just guarding it. And maybe a flare here would give the Protoss team some very important information, but
Player.
they hit the boss and see that it's up, and it does seem like the Zerg team is just gonna go for this boss really uncontested. They're just gonna start it here. You can see the vision's on. They have the sight, and Pyro
Time,
here is
time
zoning
waits for
Hypnos,
him.
and it's going too fast,
Yeah, the boss fights when the Zerg got map control. Now you can really see Kyrak come in there with that the able to kill the levy much faster than the Protoss team can.
right? And does the Zerg team have more damage? and are making better use of the space they're getting. And you can see it's really just screwing in the vice here. Not much that can be done. They're just getting killed by the range. And the counterplay is almost gone here. The comp has been fully developed, and the Vulcan suffering from that short range, really putting him behind here. You want to see some strong bursts coming out, but he can't really step forward. And Ayer's also limited range compared to the Nova. Can kind of see the tanks getting driven out here. Doesn't have the equipment for this fight. They're gonna keep pushing that tower. George trying to get a snipe on this tower, but the drone's not close enough, and he does not have the vision. You can get vision from this high ground to this one, but it will not give you enough range. Pop in flares here. Hero attack steps forward, but he's just super tanked. He just walks out. Fisher goes for an ult here, maybe just flexing. And Spooky gets Mother on the high ground with the vision. Fisher just walks out. He's fine. Hypnos on the flank, a little bit late looking for the Nova, but Nova Tetrad, and she's completely fine now. Looking for Tower. Tower goes down. Sticks it in the front line. Hypnos is taking damage. She's going to walk out. The Rocket is going to deal damage, but he dies here, and the whole team is aced, and it just seems like this is
The
the
end of the
end.
game. Yep. So just pushing into one lane here. AoS is unique as a MABA too because you don't need to take all the towers in the base to make the Nexus killable. You can just go in one lane. If you're strong enough, you can just take it.
Right, and really at this stage in the game, they could just face tank it.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you have any closing thoughts on the swings of this game?
I mean, the Protoss started out real strong. They had a good early game and late game comp. They really are early and mid game comp. They really needed to just like close that game though. There was basically like a good 25 minutes in the middle of the game where they just dirtled around and like didn't push a lane or commit to the boss, and it punished them. They ended up losing that game. They let Nova just get too much farm to the point where she just couldn't be contested.
Right, and I do think that George and Fisher played especially well here. You can see Fisher not the best scoreline, but definitely the best play with showing a lot of discipline in that bot lane, kind of just waiting out the game and really not getting punished that much. They both only have 5 deaths and a really high kill count.
Yep,
You can see
very
they're
well. He definitely was never over aggressive at any point too. He really just kind of sat back and just waited for the counter engage, which is exactly what he needed to do.
right, and him not pushing forward like that, waiting for the enemy team to come into him, allows him to punish plays, but he will never put himself at risk, which means he's only taking the good fights. And that really shows there with the Nova kind of picking up rogue kills on the top turret, giving her a chance to get those items. And as soon as she's ready, she's rolling. You can see the Dustin as well doing a lot of damage here. You don't want to allow these two characters to get that far into the game. It does seem like Tower and Ayer wanted to try to get their team into those turrets, get that bottom turret here that never fell, get that top turret here without diving, and then just slowly push the game, get that boss here, deny the vision, and then just close it out. As soon as the base is cracked, it becomes very difficult to make it out of there, and you can keep your lead. But you can see in the score, the creep score, it just they did not have the farm going there. They were hovering in the river for too long, and it does seem like eventually that caught up with them.
A very low damage game too, like an extremely long game, and you don't have really super exaggerated numbers here. It really was just a big battle of tug and war, and again in the mid game there really just was nothing going on. In an over hour game, you usually see someone get toward like a million damage, but no one was even remotely close. Just like a big battle of tug of war. Like no one really like just capitalizing on the early plays. What I'm saying, both sides actually, any kind of plays they made in the mid game, they just didn't push enough advantage out of them.
Right, and it does seem like the comps really showed their strengths at the time of the games where they were winning, but you really want to be able to push that lead whenever you have it because sometimes you will see these comps where the enemy team does not give up. And as soon as they get a chance, they'll grab it and just push you back out.
Yeah,
Right.
very important to close games quick if you're against
We
a hyper carry and you don't have your own.
we do have a second game here if you want to have a look. It is another hour, so if you're up to it, we can go for game two.
Which one you looking at?